Hey everybody, it's shame busting coach Jen Bovey from www.jenbovey.com, and I want to talk to you guys today about why self-love. I just talked about this briefly in a different context on my business Facebook page. If you want to go check it out, that's fine, whatever. But I want to talk to you, most of you, because some of you joined this group when the focus was simply on living shame-free. Some of you joined this group when the focus was on the self-care initiative. Some of you have joined this group for the self-love adventure. Whatever you joined the group for, welcome. I want to explain how and why I'm talking about self-love today. For me, the self-care piece was natural, and it was an awesome fit from the shame resiliency component. What I noticed over the last, I just tried to figure it out a few minutes ago, 10 or 12 years of leading shame resiliency groups is that when we start talking about self-care, people typically check out. Their eyes glass over, they disengage, they don't really hear anything you're saying for the next few minutes because they feel unprepared to implement any self-care. And the rationale is because they've lived such a shame-based life that they don't have any room for self-care because they've completely overcommitted themselves, and they don't really know what that looks like, what that feels like, what that sounds like, how to do it. They don't know any of those details. So it becomes really overwhelming from that aspect. The next piece of that I noticed an even bigger response like that from was when we started talking about self-love. Many women specifically, but some men too, but many women who struggle with shame issues, and it doesn't have to be overt shame. It can be little covert shames. Whenever there's any amount of shame present, I suspect that there's a real strong lack of self-love. And so my relationship with this stuff is by doing really good self-care, I opened the floodgates for my ability to love myself. And that was absolutely exciting. I really wanted to create a positive change in my life. And I've worked really hard to get here, frankly. This positive, loving, mutually supportive, accepting relationship with myself and with my body. You know, many years ago, 3, 4, I was diagnosed with chronic neurological Lyme disease. And it's interesting because I've developed an ability to look at people when they offer me suggestions and they don't do it very kindly about how to heal, and I've been able to look at them and treat them with grace. And I think that's only because I love myself and I love my body, and I trust that my body's doing what's best for me and that it has a purpose and it has a goal and a mission. But I don't think that I deserve to love myself any less because I have some health issues. I don't think I deserve to love myself any less because my body's full of toxins. I don't think I deserve to love myself any less because I've never given birth to a child. I don't think I deserve to love myself any less because my physical body is not a representation of my soul. I don't think I deserve to love myself any less because I'm very imperfect. I don't think I deserve to love myself any less because I don't know how to do things that other people know how to do. Legitimately, there is a lot of that. That's why I keep really great people around me, and that's why I have an enormous support system who supports me. I don't do this stuff on my own. You know, recently this is awful. I recently had to fire my house cleaner. And for those of you who think I might be entitled or arrogant or whatever, lazy or whatever, because I have a house cleaner, I don't care. You are welcome to your opinion. My experience, however, is I work really hard and I work a lot of hours and I don't have the energy and the time and the health capacity to go home and clean my house. If you use the spoon analogy, by the time I walk in that door, my spoons are already in the negatives. So I just don't have it in me. So when I fired my housekeeper, I made the decision before I wrote the letter that I was going to do it from a place of love and gratitude. And I was going to replace her from a place of love and gratitude. And I've got a line on somebody that I feel is going to be a really good fit, but it was such an interesting process because I begrudgingly hired this person to clean my house. It was really only because my husband kept saying, you don't have the time to do this. You don't have the energy to do this. You don't have the capacity to do this. Every time you breathe the chemicals in from cleaning your bathtub, you end up in the emergency room. This is a no-brainer. But it felt indulgent to me. So what? So what if loving yourself feels indulgent? I don't give a rat's behind. You are worthy of loving yourself. You deserve to love yourself. You are worthy of developing a self-love lifestyle. You are worthy of developing a self-love lifestyle. All of these things are accurate. All of these things are true. What's stopping you? That's my biggest question to you right here, right now. What's stopping you? If you haven't signed up for the self-love adventure yet, I'd like to know why. Send me a PM, send me an email at jen@jenbovlcsw.com. Send me smoke signals, carrier pigeons, whatever. But just let me know why. Is it because you want something more personal and more private? Great. Go to my website. Find some ways to work with me. Go to the self-help section. Purchase the Self-Love Adventure Journal. But do something. The time has come. We have lived lives too long, and we have punished ourselves for too long, and we have abused ourselves for too long. The day is done. The day of us sacrificing ourselves for the good of everyone else has passed. I'm done with it. I hope you're done too. I hope you're ready to absolutely change your life and change how you show up for yourself and change how you treat yourself and change how you think about yourself. And maybe, just maybe, choose yourself first. Because when you choose yourself first, everything else falls into line. It doesn't mean your life is going to be wonderful and skippy and you're not going to be like picking up the tulips as you walk along. No, life is very frequently about trudging. But when you're operating from a place of self-love, that trudging is on a paved dirt path. It's not through quicksand or through cement. You know, my life is not what people want to perceive it to be. There's not somebody feeding me all of these great concepts. Nobody's doing this work for me, frankly. And I work really hard, and I still show up every day. And my biggest why is because I want my daughter to know that she's worth it. I want my niece to know that she's worth it. I want my sister to know that she's worth it. I want my friends to know that she's worth it. I want my client to know that she's worth it. I want my husband to know that he's worth it. I want my son to know that he's worth it. I literally want every human being on the face of this earth to know that they're worth it, to know that they deserve it, and to just engage in a little bit of self-care and a lot of bit of self-love. Can you imagine if the entire world suddenly started engaging in self-love, how different their responses would be? I've had some situations recently in my personal life that have triggered me. And in the past, I would have been honestly a stark raving lunatic. I was a little blindsided with some information by the IRS, so we have to pay again this year. In the past, that would have absolutely made me spiral down. I would have had to have been mean and hateful. I would have had to have been a jerk, and I would have had to have been awful, and I didn't act in any of those ways. I took 10 minutes, and I said, I'm gonna need 10 minutes, and then I'll be back. And in those 10 minutes, I realized I don't care. I'll pay it off. I'm resourceful. I've got solutions out there. But what I do care about is that I love me so much that I'm going to pay it because I love me. And I'm not going to respond in that old banshee craziness because I love me. And I'm not going to lash out at other people because I love me. And I'm not going to be awful, and I'm not going to talk crap about people, and I'm not going to rip people apart because I love me. I wonder how it would be if all those catalysts in our life that have brought us here, who have done harm or talked trash or assassinated our character or tried to destroy our families or our businesses or whatever's, I wonder how it would be if they could develop just a little bit of self-love. Because I suspect that if they developed a little bit of self-love, they would spend less time trying to tear us apart and more time trying to build themselves up. So thanks for being here. Go to my website, click a link, join something, do something, make a change. You're worth it. You deserve it. Thanks.